The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and welcome to TV1 News. I'm Rex Lita.
And I'm Tracy Pa. Join me later for all the sporting details.
In this edition, Judge calls for proper training, Gurias to return home soon, and YY happy with Fun Run. Madang Police is looking into the fire that started in the early hours of Wednesday morning at the Divinewood University. The fire started in a storage shed, then spread to an ablution block belonging to the FIAM dormitory, where first-year male students normally reside. Students managed to put out the fire using buckets of water, saving the infrastructure from extensive damage. Madang PPC Acting Superintendent Robert Baim said arrests will be made as soon as suspects are identified. This should be done by the week's end. Meantime, the institution is conducting an independent inquiry into the incident. Divinewood University President Father Philip Gibbs said the university will also be looking at fire safety measures, including having firefighting equipment at the hand like fire extinguishers. Lawyers in this current day and age are not properly trained to carry out their duties, says Papua New Guinea Chief Justice Sir Gibbs Salika. He is calling for a full review into law study in the country.
In the past, law students underwent 10 months of intensive training at the University of Papua New Guinea Legal Institute before they were admitted to the courts. This practice has come to a halt, creating a loophole where lawyers are not properly trained. This was the concern raised by Chief Justice Sir Gibbs Salika during the Independent Commission Against Corruption's first anniversary seminar recently.
10 months intensive training in relation to trying to get practical hands-on experience.
He said the major factor of this issue is because there is not enough expertise, such as senior lawyers and judges who are employed by the university to be part-time or full-time lecturers.
It's an institution that relies on expertise from those of you who are senior litigation lawyers in your various law firms.
Justice Salika said the other reason is the increased number of intakes, which makes it harder for a lecturer or trainer to do one-on-one instructions.
The numbers are huge, and with a huge number of trainees in a class, it's not easy to educate or to instruct those people and pass on your skills, your knowledge to the next lot of lawyers.
Justice Salika said the other issue is due to limited teaching facilities.
We don't have a proper home for the legal trainees. Currently, we are renting at the old Edcol building.
The Chief Justice said a way forward to produce competent lawyers is to review the legal institution's provision and put in more funding to bring in expertise to ensure lawyers are properly trained before they are admitted to the courts. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
Minister for Petroleum Jimmy Maladina has stepped aside from office to allow for a judicial process to follow in the Australian court. He was charged for allegedly assaulting a 31-year-old woman in Bondi, Sydney on Saturday, July 6th. Maladina is facing a domestic assault charge, which will be heard in court this week. Prime Minister James Marape, in a statement, announced the decision by Petroleum Minister Jimmy Maladina to step aside from his position. The Prime Minister urged the public to refrain from spreading speculations, as this matter is now before a competent prosecutional process. Meantime, an acting appointment will be made to carry on the work of the ministry. Number 1 Super says that the land posted 2156, 2157 and 2159 at the Buswara 9-mile area will be properly developed once the land is vacated after the eviction exercise. This was revealed by NSL Chief Executive Officer Paul Saya today in a media conference.
The Number 1 Super Limited Chief Executive Officer Paul Saya, in a press conference this morning, said it had been over 30 years since they have been fighting a court battle to win back the land portions 2156, 2157 and 2159 at Bushwara 9-mile area. Eventually, on March 12, 2024, the Waigani National Court ruled in favor of NSL and ordered a 120-day grace period for the settlers to vacate the land. The grace period lapses on Wednesday, July 10th, and an eviction will be carried out the next day, Thursday, July 11th. Once the eviction exercise is complete, the company intends to properly develop the area, making it a proper suburb.
Could rebuild some suburbs and have them properly planned. So one of the challenges in Port Moresby is that there's a lot of unplanned buildings, and so by us having that ability to take possession of the land, we're able to look at how can we set that particular area up, and that land, if you think about it, is about the same sort of size as a Gerahub. So you'd have a mixture, we anticipate a mixture of things like housing, as well as then commercial, as well as then community.
Saya urged the settlers who have not moved out to do so because the sheriff and the police will conduct the eviction exercise.
Forcing the court order, and so therefore we've been asking individuals to remove themselves and find other locations to move themselves to. So,
meanwhile, settlers who have lived for almost 2 to 3 years in that area have begun moving out of that area. NCD Police and the officers of the sheriff are currently on site, issuing eviction notices to the settlers and giving extra assistance when needed. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
You're watching TV1 News. Amongst stories after the break, honoring Sir Peter Luce and preserving culture through music.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He loves the Maroons. He loves the Blues. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bungim Yumi.
Hiya, Mama.
You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time for kimchi, chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, My whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
The National Fisheries Authority today presented a cheque of over 300,000 kina in super contribution for the PNG Fisheries Observers to the #1 Super Limited. The observers play a vital role in the fisheries industry.
NFA's acting managing director, Leban Gisawa, when presenting the 3,000 kina cheque to #1 Super Limited today, said the funding will support 240 fisheries observers and their families who will benefit from the super contribution to the NSL Choice Super account after they retire or leave their jobs.
To the NSL Choice Super account so that after they retire or leave their jobs, they have a future investment for them and their family.
Gisawa said it was through a consultant review in 2022 that paved the way for the new approach for all fisheries observers to commence contributing a 6% mandatory contribution from all their sea trips, including shore-based allowance, into their NSL Choice Super account.
They has come to realize that promoting a savings culture among contracted fisheries observers is crucial.
Gisawa said the observers' commitment and hard work are vital because the data collected by an observer is central to most of the core functions of the NFA in fishery management, enforcement, and research. Meanwhile, NSL Chief Executive Officer Paul Seya thanked the NFA for the support. Seya said the 240 members will enjoy services and benefit that are similar to compulsory #1 Super members, including access to #1 Retirement Savings Account, over 150 discount partners nationwide, informative seminars, free financial literacy training, and access to #1 Savings and Loan Society.
Nice things that's actually occurred with this organisation, with the NFA, is really that we started that program of working with individuals to look at how we actually lift their knowledge about saving for when you retire.
Meanwhile, the PNG Fisheries Observer Program is one of the 4 sub-units under Monitoring, Compliance and Surveillance units of the National Fisheries Authority. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
Over 70 blankets have been donated to the orphans of Gambog Orphan Resource Center in Chimbu Province. The Agape group from the University of Goroka donated 73 blankets to Kumura Foundation, a local community-based organization of Bundi Medang Province, on the morning of Sunday, July 7th. The blankets will be used at the new 80-person orphan students' dormitory built by Kumura Foundation in Chimbu. When presenting the items, Agape spokesperson Michael Silas applauded the good work of Kumura Foundation and gave the assurance that they will attend the opening of the new students' dormitory on Wednesday, July 10th. The director of Kumura Foundation, Vincent Kumura, gratefully received the blankets and thanked the group, the university administration, and everyone involved in making this happen for the children. The Kumura Foundation is looking after 66 children. More than half of the group are orphans while the remainder are marginalized children from all over Burundi. Pimaga Station in Kutubu in the Southern Highlands province was buzzing with excitement over the weekend as locals gathered to witness the groundbreaking ceremony of the construction of the Kila Houseman and Kila Chambers, both named after sitting LLG President John P.P. Kila. People flocked in from as far as Foe, Faso and Lake Kutubu to witness the events.
The groundbreaking ceremony of the construction of the Kila Chambers and Kila Houseman took place at Pimaga Station in the Kutubu local level government in Southern Islands province. Construction of the Kila Chambers was delayed, but now it can finally progress. Hundreds gathered to celebrate this. People even flocked in from as far as Foe, Faso and Lake Kutubu to bear witness. Kutubu LLG President John P.P. Kila, whom the infrastructure will be named after, cut the ribbon and did the groundbreaking formalities over the weekend to signify the start of the construction of the 10 million Kina chamber.
Time beginning blow you come. Papa blow you tabu da kamuna come. One man or some come, you must have a mass. You must have a mass that no one holy fire water. No one holy beer. No one only simuk marijuana, you must respect him, me. Now you respect him, you hear those respecting me. You respect him, you hear those you respect him, Babura Kamuna. You respect him, you hear those among the leaders. And you make him awesome and place by change.
Mr. Kila stressed that infrastructure is a symbol of ownership and stability for his people. He stressed it will be a communal space for all of Kutubu's leaders to meet and work together for the betterment of the people they represent.
Kutubu leaders sign him, Pinisto Karem, Township Igoromoro. Now, me mangi pagwale last corner na, me should be support na sign him na, yes, me get tomorrow. Man, proving paper ya me have him honey. Me proving paper na come back of Pimaga Station. Station in the Moro company. Before Tumbuna bin stop long, company bin gamlon Pimanga.
The chamber will be built by a local company, Rockfield Engineering and Construction Limited. Project manager Maclay Riggs thanked Kutubu LLG for having confidence in Rockfield Engineering. He promised they will deliver on time.
Process blow working with the building, I mean also diwa mit like sim lo bus na pamit la working ma. Structure building where by need him 7 months step inside. So me bla working plant engineering work, plant planning, plant designs, long inside, long interior, exterior, long landscaping, long environment you start logan, long groundways, something project by Sinda logan. And this la carry me long time.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Meantime, the Kila Houseman at Pimaga Station will be used as a transit house for the people of Faso and Raunwara while they wait for families getting medical help at Pimaga Hospital. The Kila Houseman will also accommodate those people from other parts of Kutubu who have no place to stay while visiting at the station. Mr. Kila urged the people to look after the facility and respect those using it.
Me walking long, old man, stop long way. Katobo, Kafa, Kamosim no Waro, Yorobayu, Ayo Mano Tamatiki hitting here, Kamosim no Kaibu Sisipia, Iga Mandablo Moro, Ranwara Kesege, I know Kesege, but Kesege you close to. Ranwara, then Homa, Power, Bakwala, Yaranda, Mega Fobla place for me. You come to house man, you come to house sick. One blow mama in the sick, bigger than blow you sick. Time or morona pagware, all talk all same house it, Poma Power, Wara Sisibia, Kaibu, all Salem, you refer him, you come to Pimanga, Siglan, Silivim Lahab. You come, Silib house blow you here. Houseman blow you. Houseman blow you blah. Now you talk houseman blow John P.V. Badin blow me and blow you blah.
Yamamas, President John P.V. Killer, no come up in this blood thing. And by put him behind legacy, belong you. All beginning by come behind all by talk. Once upon a time, there was a very vocal, vibrant, action-packed president.
And now the finance news. The kina closed lower at 0.2597 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2522 US dollars, 0.3708 Australian dollars, 0.2254 euro and 40.30 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa and copper closed higher. Palm oil and crude oil closed lower, while copra closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. TV1 News continues when we come back. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG e Mia. Pine PNG made.
Open bets. Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Karen, talk young, or roll a scale rice family meal with toast. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's a favorite by miles. Seni sigola, scale rice, low scale price. Seni sigola, scale rice, low scale price. But you like him?
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy, so bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
Welcome back. A special report examines the prospects of a second term for Donald Trump versus the Democrats' chance at the ballot box. Polling shows Trump extending his lead over Joe Biden. Key battleground states such as Nevada will be crucial. Biden previously won Nevada by a narrow margin, but current polling suggests it could flip red due to rising prices and cost of living pressures. North America correspondent Carrigan Clark reports from Las Vegas.
The casinos on the Las Vegas Strip entice visitors with the possibility of great riches. But in the shadows of the towers, there's a bleaker reality for many.
It is probably worse than I've ever seen it. I mean, everything's up. Gas prices are crazy. Food's gone way up. Rents, especially.
Last year, at age 62, Christine was forced to move in with her 82-year-old father. Her rent was hiked 25%, and she could no longer afford it. A former Democrat, she blames President Joe Biden for the cost of living rises and plans to vote for Donald Trump, despite some reservations.
You need anything else? I don't want either one of them, but it's like lesser of two evils. Since 2020, things have taken a dive. It's not working. It was not like that when Trump was president.
Nevadans have been hurting under some of the highest price rises in the country as inflation bites and Biden's popularity falls. Donald Trump has a permanent presence in Nevada, but he's lost the state in both his previous presidential campaigns.
Wow, it's not too hot out here, right?
He's trying to flip the state, and at a recent rally, he promised more financial relief.
For those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy, because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips. If we win Nevada, we win the whole thing. We win the whole thing.
Second break. Then we're doing those two back-to-back again.
But Joe Biden retains strong supporters in Nevada.
Actually, I want you to overcorrect on that. Push your chest into it. There you go.
Personal trainer Will McMichael knows people are financially hurting in the state, but says Trump doesn't offer solutions.
Wunderbar, recover.
There are so many factors with the cost of living here that, yeah, that could be a huge factor. Trump is going to have to show them some capacity to change that, which I don't think he has.
Okay.
And says at this election, democracy itself is on the line.
It is a choice between autocrat and other, and I won't stand for an autocrat coming from any side of the spectrum.
An increasingly important political factor here is the Latino vote. Latinos make up about 20% of the Nevadan population. They've traditionally supported Democrats, but given many hold socially conservative views, Republicans believe they can be swayed.
You've also had this growing sort of effort to mobilize Latinos by conservative groups that traditionally didn't happen here. The Republicans have now gotten the game here.
Vaquero Minera, ¿me escuchas? Buenos días.
One of those groups targeting the Latino vote on behalf of the right is the Libre Initiative, which, among other campaigning, buys radio time to get their message out to vote for right-wing candidates, but not necessarily to support Donald Trump. Eddie Diaz says he personally wishes the Republican Party had a different candidate.
As much as I like Donald Trump's policy, he's still a divisive person, right? I don't know if he's going to be the one that's going to be able to unite the country. Biden said he was going to do it. He failed to do it, and I think we just needed some. I think we just need some healing in this country at the moment, right?
For both sides, Nevada is a sparkling prize of 6 electoral votes, potentially decisive in a race that's shaping up as even closer than the last.
A Nauru court has ruled that 5 New Caledonia pro-independent leaders will continue to serve a preliminary term in several jails in mainland France, pending their trial. The 5 are part of a group who were initially arrested and indicted on 22nd June, then transferred to metropolitan France on a specially freight plane that same day. Nauru public prosecutor Yves Dupas said at the time the transfer was decided in order to ensure investigations can continue in a climate of serenity and without any pressure or fraudulent conspiracy. The arrest triggered a fresh upsurge of violence after initial riots broke out in New Caledonia on May 13th, causing further burning, destruction, looting and the death of 9 people. They are accused of facing charges of organized crime in relation to the organizing of protests that degenerates into grave civil unrest. Several World War II shipwrecks in Australia waters have been described as ticking time bombs due to their potential to leak toxic materials into rather sensitive marine areas. A research and conservation organization warns that some of these vessels are at risk of breaking up and releasing unknown quantities of oil and chemicals.
World War II ships have been corroding ever since they sank 80 years ago.
These potentially polluting wrecks are what we call the biggest problem that people haven't heard of.
World War II wrecks are scattered all around Australia. 6 have been identified as a serious environmental threat. They include 3 US ships sitting at the bottom of the Coral Sea, another vessel called MV Limerick just 18 kilometres east of Ballina in New South Wales, and 2 off Victoria's coast, SS Cambridge and the city of Rayville.
These wrecks are changing. In a 5-year period, you can visibly see the decay of these shipwrecks. So it's not a matter of if, but when they will collapse.
Work is underway to determine how much fuel each ship was carrying when it sank and how much of it could still be on board. But it's a challenging and lengthy process.
It's really important that these wrecks are properly documented and detailed assessments of the risk are conducted.
But while it's costly, there is a solution. The Major Projects Foundation estimates it would cost at least $3 million to remove oil and other chemicals from a single corroding wreck. While that may sound like a lot, the cost of doing nothing is much higher.
The cost of a single oil spill kind of response, you're often talking $20–30 million.
But the Australian Maritime Safety Authority says it's not aware of any funding nor proposals for funding to address such wrecks.
Like a lot of issues you have with, impacts to the environment, global climate change, these sort of broader issues, this is one of those things that you can control.
Shining the spotlight on these wrecks before it's too late.
Nauru President David Adiang says he hopes Chinese investment transforms the tiny island nation after switching recognition from Taiwan. There is growing influence from Beijing in the Pacific region, and notably, Nauru under Adiang's leadership abandoned support from for Taiwan in January to formally recognize China. Adiang on Thursday confirmed the move was to try to attach Chinese investment. He said it is a great opportunity for Nauru to try and transform itself with the support of a country as large as China. The President's comments follows New Zealand's Deputy Prime Minister Winston Peters' visit to the Micronesian nation after formal talks concluded on Thursday. Chinese influence was absent during Peters' whistle-stop tour. A Chinese flag was taken from outside Nauru's government offices, and Chinese workers at the port were absent during a brief drive-through tour. Next in sports with Tracy, concerns over Hunter's defence and joins Tracy after this break.
Brush to the beat with Colgate for healthy teeth. Brush twice a day for 2 minutes, that's all you need. Brush to the Colgate beat. Come on now everybody, join in on the fun for long-lasting healthy teeth. 2 minutes of brushing twice a day, bright smiles, bright futures with Colgate. brush to the Colgate beat. Come on now, everybody, join in on the fun for long-lasting, healthy teeth.
Back in '69, Frank Hutchison started a journey when he met Bill King, who ran a remote travel business. King needed four-wheel drive parts so strong, so reliable, they'd make the return trip after enduring the rigours of the Aussie outback. This forged Terrain Tamer's beginnings. Over 50 years later, Frank and his team continue to innovate and create parts strong enough to survive the toughest terrains on the planet. And best of all, the customer is still king. Terrain Tamer, parts that will get you home.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Henow, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always Trukai. Trukai, true inspiration through generations.
At the PNG LNG project, we are proud of our long-standing partnership with the Kumuls, as they represent the hopes and aspirations of so many Papua New Guineans. Rugby league is more than just a sport. It promotes our shared values of leadership, teamwork, respect, personal integrity, and excellence. Lessons learnt on the pitch carry on throughout life and go beyond serving ourselves.
It will be a tough game, it'll be a tough atmosphere.
Welcome back. The Premier Soccer League has returned for the season 2024. The football competition kicked off on the weekend in Port Moresby and Lae. The first weekend of football provides a lot of excitement for the football clubs, players and fans. Even more so, there are players' movements in the off-season, making the matches competitive. In the first match in Port Moresby Strikers FC defeated United Highlands 2-1. Reigning champions Akari United head off Admiralty Highlands FC 2-0. In Lae City FC beat Lae City Dwellers 1-0 in a local debate before the visiting Gulf Kamara beat FC Morobeh Wawins 2-1. Round 2 continues this weekend. East New Britain Egma Gurias showed great resilience and a lot of fighting spirit to grit out their ghastly 22-6 win over an equally strong Gas Resources Central Dabaris to maintain their top 3 ranking on the 2024 Digital ExxonMobil Cup ladder.
To be patient with the football here.
But it was Guria's Rocket Dynamo #1 and man of the match Junius Guan using his evasive attacking flair and energy to mesmerize the Dabaris defense in the second half that put the Gurias on the front foot. Guan scored the first of the 3 Gurias second half tries, followed by centre Dominic Anis Jr. and winger Miles Bunham for their 22-6 victory. Reserve halfback Max Tonia was the lone try scorer for Dabaris in the first half. The epic round 13 encounter was played at a frantic pace as both teams settled into their rhythm. Brutal defense and big hits in the opening exchanges got the two teams worked up, resulting in a few ill-disciplined conducts and several players cautioned by match officials. An infringement by Dabaris early doors in front of their goal mouth allowed Gurias to hit the front early 2-0 from an Aseboas penalty kick. Dabaris fought their way back from some dominant display inside Guria's red zone through halves Niki Hasso, Lotte Kumar and Matthew Wawe at dummy half. That presented an opportunity for reserve halfback Max Tonia to put Dabaris in the lead 6-2 for the first time. But that was short-lived when Gurias struck back with a try to winger Chris Benjamin, splitting the Dabaris right edge defensive line to equalize 6-all heading into halftime.
Second half began with the same intensity that saw the Barries resorting to power play through the middle, but their wingers Douglas Perica and Bartholomew Evie were starved off the ball at crucial moments of the second half. Guria's veteran Ase Boas, partnering Wesley Batari in the halves, had some good touches in his ball distribution, catching the Barries off guard and forcing them into errors. Gurias exploited the left edge and scored points to dominate the match. After round 13, defending premiers Mioks are back on top by 19 points after shooting down competition leaders Eagles 24-16. Eagles dropped back to second place on 18 points, with Gurias consolidated third spot with 17 points. Tigers fourth with 16 points, Muruks fifth with 15 points, and the Barries remain sixth with 14 points.
First half, our boys only dropped plenty balls, na force passes, plenty errors working na half time. Maybe black on side me talk mo lo mana something working or kambe kalau mana something straight quick play the ball rak na mi bla rolo na mel na mi bla score sebelah try lo second half lo rak mi bla quick play the ball rak na mi bla wini mo lo rak lo sana bla squeezing mo na mel na outside the off na mi bla score tries outside lo first half number time start slow number first half number first half nakam start slow number second half number nakam number wakal kan bas score more points number nakam winner full time lo finish to second number time do play strong number do play finish first or second number do round 2 we play him lo first na second number.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
The Agma Gurias were playing out of Port Moresby as their temporary home will soon be playing their remaining matches on home soil. With work on the Tokwa Airport runway almost complete, the East New Britain franchise is looking forward to returning home by the end of this month. Maintenance of Queen's Park in Rabaul is also progressing well and should be ready in time for when the team is home. The Gurias' main home ground facility in Kokobo Colobon Oval is undergoing an upgrade to world-class standards, with work to begin shortly. The project is expected to complete by September 2025. In the interim, Queen's Park will be used as a temporary home ground to host visiting teams for the balance of the 2024 regular season and 2025. It is understood the Gurias plan to return home after the bye weekend of 28th and 21st July, with a first home game tentatively set for 27th July against Leyte Tigers. The SP PNG Hunters pulled off a stunning upset in round 17 of the Horseplus Cup, defeating the North Devils 20-18 right at the full time. This thrilling match took place at the Biza Park in Brisbane, Australia.
The match began with the North Devils establishing an early lead. Mason Teague scored the first try of the game in the 4th minute, and Andre Nico successfully converted, putting the Devils ahead. The Hunters responded in the 22nd minute when Alex Max crossed the line for their first try, and Jamie Mavoko's conversion in the 24th minute brought the score closer. The Devils extended their lead in the 34th minute with a try from Manasseh Kaho, though this time the conversion was missed. However, the Hunters quickly countered with a try from Finley Glare in the 37th minute, keeping the game tightly contested. At halftime, the score was 10-all. The second half saw continued fierce competition. Jeremiah Simbican added to the Devils' score with a try in the 42nd minute, but once again, the conversion missed. The Hunters kept pressing, and Clint Lama scored a crucial try in the 66th minute, narrowing the gap. In the dramatic finish, Andre Nico scored another try for the Devils in the 74th minute, but his missed conversion left the score at 18-14. The Hunters refused to back down, and Solo Wane's try in the 79th minute set the stage for a nail-biting conclusion. Jamie Mawoko's final conversion in the 80th minute sealed the Hunters' victory 2018. This victory allows the Hunters to maintain their top 8 spot in the competition ladder. In round 18 this weekend, the Hunters face the Central Queensland Campers at the National Football Stadium, Port Moresby. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
Nauru Magpie shocked favourites and minor premiers West Eagles 14 points to 18 points, 8 points to take out the 2024 Mon Plus Port Moresby AFL Women's Grand Final on Saturday at the Courts Ground. It was a defensive effort by both teams from the opening quarter, making goals hard to come by.
It was a 5-team women's competition this year that went through 2 rounds of regular season, culminating in the top 4 playoffs before Saturday's showdown between West Eagles and Nauru Magpies. Both teams were worthy grand finalists, with Eagles in the box seat with an unblemished winning track record throughout the season and had a bye week leading up to the grand final after taking out the minor premiership. The Pies had to do it the hard way, going through the elimination process, beating Dockers and Koboni for the right to meet the minor premiers. Former AFL President Douglas Lai said this year the potential of women's talent in AFL is huge, with majority of the girls coming through the PNG AFL New Kick Schools Development Pathway Program. Magpies and Eagles displayed their running game, kicking skill, and defensive plays throughout the contest, keeping scores at a low percentage until full time. Lai said Eagles were dominant throughout the season, securing minor premiership and were favourites to take out the title, but Magpies showed good match fitness and took it to Eagles from the opening quarter and maintained intensity to put them under pressure in the second half. In the end, Magpies came out premiers, upsetting early favourites Eagles 14 points to 8. The best player was Magpies rover Belmi Amos. Lai said, though they had a slow start to the women's competition, interest is high and confident the numbers will grow with more girls graduating out of the New Kick Schools and Junior Development Pathway.
West Eagles has been the minor premiers. They took out the minor premiers, so they've been leading the competition throughout the season. So, but the Nauru Magpies had to fight hard to get into the grand final today. They went through some elimination against Dockers and Koboni to be here today.
The president said after the women's final, they will announce a squad for their planned upcoming international events.
We've had some really good talents out here with all the 5 teams that have been competing. Apparently, we're having a women's trials in the next 2 weeks. So definitely we've had some really good players, outstanding players that we've selected for the trials as well. So yeah, definitely the home competition has given us some really good talents.
Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
The 2024 edition of Trukai Fun Run Port Moresby leg was hailed a success with a great turnout and participation. The event is a fundraiser to assist PNG athletics who will be participating in international events, including the Paris Olympic Games.
The PNG Olympic Committee, or PNGOC, and its partner organization Trukai Industries hosted a successful fun run program on Sunday. The event took residents on the streets in Port Moresby, Lae, Goroka, Mount Hagen, Wewak and other centers. In Port Moresby, the event started early in the morning, following a launch of the event by PNGOC President Emma YY and NCD Governor Powes Paco. The fun run started at the Hubert Murray Stadium, through to APEC House and through to the Ring Road and back to the stadium, where the program ended. YY was delighted with the event and the participation. She disclosed the significance of Trukai Fun Run. She said, this fundraiser assists PNG national athletes representing the country at international events.
I am delighted to announce that the funds raised from this year's Trukai Fun Run will be crucial in supporting our athletes' preparation to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games.
When expressing her appreciation for the support, the PNGOC president confirmed the number of athletes who qualified for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. The athletes will represent the country with pride when they participate in the world's most prestigious sporting event.
We take immense pride in our 6 athletes who have secured their spots to represent Papua New Guinea on the world stage. They embody the spirit of our nation, proudly flying our red, black and gold flag with honor and dignity.
YY said the program wouldn't come about if it wasn't for the undivided support of Trukai Industries and support sponsors.
But none of this would be possible without the unwavering support of all our sponsors. I extend my deepest gratitude to Trukai Industries Limited, our long-standing partner in sports development, for the continuous commitment since the inception of the Trukai Fun Run. I also acknowledge and thank our supporting sponsors.
NCD Governor Paul Spakop and a delegation from Vanuatu also took part in the event.
Cricket PNG has renewed its partnership with Capital Insurance. The partnership provides insurance cover for PNG national cricket players and the sports administrators, which marks corporate confidence in the sporting code. This partnership agreement was reached today at the Amini Park, Port Moresby, by Cricket PNG CEO Richard Dunn and Capital Insurance Group Chief Operating Officer Richard Goswell.
Cricket PNG and Capital Insurance have been a partner for the last 4 years, and to recommit to the cause is an indication of confidence the corporate partner has in the sporting code. This partnership comes after the strong performance of the PNG Barramundis at the recent ICC T20 World Cup in the West Indies. Capital Insurance Group Chief Operating Officer Richard Goswell said he is thrilled, just like any other PNG cricket fans in the country, about the performance of the PNG Barramundis at the World Cup, and is happy to partner with Cricket PNG.
And we are very, very thrilled to be providing the insurance coverage for Cricket PNG and all of the teams. We're particularly excited about the performance of the Barramundis at the recent ICC World Cup. To see a PNG side competing at that stage is wonderful, and we're sure that'll be the beginning of many, many, many opportunities for PNG teams to be at ICC tournaments. So I just want to say thank you to Richard and the entire Cricket PNG team for re-signing and renewing their insurance with Capital.
Cricket PNG CEO Richard Dawn expressed that it is important to get the players' insurance covered. The PNG national cricket team travels a lot, and they must be under protection.
Capital's been a big part of Cricket PNG for several years now. Obviously a very important part of our business. We travel a lot internationally. We have a lot of things going on here at Amini Park, and our staff are a very important resource to us. So making sure they're well protected, and through the Capital Insurance program that we've got is really appreciated as well. And it's good to see it going from strength to strength.
Dan Feather said the new Capital Insurance partnership includes administrators working for Cricket PNG. They will also be covered in the new partnership. Both partners agreed to work together and promote the sport in the country, as it has already received very good traction following the impressive World Cup outing.
Matt Richardson has numerous accomplishments in track cycling. The dual reigning Commonwealth Games gold medalist was also a member of Australia's World Champion Team Sprint in 2022. Now he is aiming for Olympic gold at the Paris Games.
Matt Richardson knows a thing or two about hard work. He's in the final phase of Olympic preparations, driven by a clear objective.
I think I've demonstrated over the last couple of years where my level is at, and my goal is to win three gold medals.
Into the final, Ben. Richardson has come a long way in a short time, claiming 2 Commonwealth Games golds and a World Championship in the past 2 years.
The last Olympics was not where I wanted to be, not the form that I wanted to kind of have for that Olympics. And very quickly after that, within a year or two, I mean, Commies was the year after, and I just kind of shot up and the results just started flowing, and it all happened very quickly.
Richardson's road to cycling was a bumpy one. An elbow injury forced the talented gymnast to switch his sporting focus as a teenager.
So I was just doing a little bit on the side, and the elbow injury happened, and that was basically Friday afternoon in the doctor's office, and Monday I was a track cyclist.
Track cycling is very different to road racing. Everything about the bike is engineered for top speed.
They're light, there's not much to them. Obviously not having brakes or gears, they're very simple machines.
Velodromes are typically 250 metres long, and the one in Paris is 8 metres wide. It's on this track that Richardson will take on the world's best.
Our biggest rivals in the team sprint are the Dutch team. 5-time world champions, current Olympic champions. We've taken one world championship off them, the only team to beat them in the last 5 years.
Richardson is quietly confident his team can beat them again and take home gold for Australia.
This and the sports segment. Over to you, Rex.
Thanks, Tracy. And now we'll have the weather forecast. Southern, Port Moresby, mostly fine. Nauru, partly cloudy. Momase, Lae, partly cloudy with possible brief showers. Madang, mostly fine. Nigini Islands, Lorengau, cloudy with periods of rain, showers and possible thunderstorms. Buka, mostly cloudy with few rain showers and possible thunderstorms. And Highlands, Mount Hagen, partly cloudy with few afternoon showers and possible thunderstorms. Ocean forecast, Coral Sea, seas rough to very rough with southeast winds of 25 to 33 knots, reaching 45 knots at times. And Bismarck Sea, seas rather rough to very rough with southeast winds of 20 to 25 knots, reaching up to 45 knots. Coastal waters forecast. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border, Tudaru, Kiwai Islands, Kerema, Yule Island, Wood Point to Samarai Islands, seas 1 to 2 meters, rising to 3 to 4 meters along warning areas. And waters of Finsafen through Vitia Strait to Siasi Long Island to Karkar Island, seas 2 to 3 meters, rising to 3.5 to 4 meters along gale warning areas. And that wraps the news tonight. Thanks for your company. Good night.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.